Welcome back. We're going to continue our investigation of trophic structures. We've already viewed the food chain and the food web, and today we'll continue our discussion of the ecological pyramid. Now, as you saw in the last video, I converted the food chain that we've been talking about in our lake ecosystem to an ecological pyramid. Now here's a picture right out of your book. This shows a terrestrial food chain, and it went ahead and converted that to an ecological pyramid. So today what we're going to do is we're going to investigate a couple of things. One is, why does so little of the energy make it from one trophic level to the next? Again, I think we've said that roughly, on average, about 10% of the total amount of chemical energy in one level makes it up to the next trophic level. And in this instance, only if the mice in an ecosystem would eat all the grasshoppers, only 10% of the chemical energy that's stored in the body of the grasshoppers make it up into the body of the mice, etc. So we're going to take a little closer look at this, and we're going to use this little caterpillar here that's eating some of a tomato plant. So let's talk about some words here, first of all. We're going to talk about the words primary production and secondary production, and we'll go back up to our little pictures. So primary production, and I have these spelled out in words here, refers to the amount of radiant energy, specifically visible light, obviously, that plants convert into the chemical energy that's stored in their biomass. So that's what plants do in photosynthesis, right? They convert light energy into chemical energy that's stored in their body. And again, we call that stored energy chemical energy. It's the and scientists, biologists like to refer to it as biomass. Now, plants are called producers because, as we've said, they produce food for the entire ecosystem. We've already discussed this, that the autotrophs here, this trophic structure, this trophic layer here, this is the only level in where energy enters the ecosystem, and then the energy is passed up. But here's the thing to think about. Even though plants trap energy for the entire ecosystem, can a mouse eat a flower? Well, maybe. But can a hawk eat a flower? Well, no, not at all. And so even though there's a lot of energy trapped here, what good does it do to the hawk? So in addition to talking about primary production, we talk about secondary production. So again, plants are our primary producers because they're the one who initially trap the sunlight and store that energy in their biomass. But then, in this case, when the grasshopper eats this flower, it converts some of the energy of the flower's biomass into new grasshopper biomass. And the same thing's happening here. In this food chain, the tomato plant is the primary producer. It photosynthesizes and traps sunlight and stores it as chemical energy in the tomato leaf. But the caterpillar, it will eat this tomato leaf and convert some of the chemical energy from the tomato leaf into new caterpillar biomass. So let's review these terms here before we get too far along. So primary production refers to the amount of radiant energy that's converted to chemical energy and stored in the plant biomass. This is usually expressed as a certain amount of energy, like joules, for instance, over time, like maybe a day, maybe a year. So, and then the secondary production refers to the chemical energy of the leaf being converted to the chemical energy that's stored in the biomass of the herbivore. So that's secondary production. And this, again, so in our caterpillar example, the caterpillar is making itself food for something else, like maybe a robin. All right, so let's go back to our little caterpillar here. Now, you, just like a caterpillar, like many animals, have a digestive tract. And we are pretty highly evolved, so our mouth is different from our anus, and likewise so it is with the caterpillar. So the caterpillar chews on the plant, and some of this biomass, well, all the biomass enters the digestive tract of the caterpillar, and a lot of this actually is pooped out because the caterpillar cannot break down all the plant material and use it as it cannot assimilate it. Now, some of this After the plant does break down some of this into monomers, some of these molecules do cross into the caterpillar's body and are assimilated into the caterpillar's body. Now, this is sort of a thing with biologists, and this applies not only to the caterpillar but to you as well. If something is in your digestive tract, it's not technically inside your body. I'll repeat, you just ate a ham sandwich, and that ham sandwich is sitting in your stomach or in your intestines. That's not considered to be part of your body. That ham sandwich is not considered to be inside your body. So we regard this digestive tract as a tube running through your body, and any biomatter that is in your digestive tract is not in your body. Sort of makes sense, right? And this is important because we're going to talk about production efficiency, which talks about how efficient the caterpillar is in converting plant biomass to new caterpillar biomass. And to do that, we're only going to look at the amount of food that actually enters the caterpillar body. So the terms that we're going to look at right now are production efficiency and trophic efficiency. And we'll go ahead and look at production efficiency first. So let's look at this caterpillar. It eats 200 joules of energy that were stored in the tomato plant leaf. And amazingly, 100 joules are in the feces that it poops out. So that energy never enters the caterpillar's body, right? If it's in the digestive tract, it's pooped out as feces, we consider it does not even enter the caterpillar's body. So when we want to look at how efficient the caterpillar is in converting plant biomass to caterpillar biomass, we only look at the amount of plant material that actually entered the caterpillar's body. So, higher math here, ladies and gentlemen. If it ate 200 joules worth of chemical energy and it pooped out 100 joules, how many joules actually entered its body? Well, that would be 100 joules. And if you add the new growth, 33 joules, and the amount used by, released by cellular respiration, 67 joules, that indeed adds up to 100 joules. So we know that 100 joules of chemical energy entered the caterpillar's body. Now, of the 100 joules of chemical energy that entered the caterpillar's body, how much became new caterpillar? And the amount that became new growth is 33 joules right here. So 33 joules of the 100 joules that the caterpillar actually ingested, 33 joules became more caterpillar, became new growth, new biomass. So I think this is pretty easy. You can see here that its production efficiency would be 33%. Okay? So, by the way, if I just asked you for the amount of secondary production, you would say 33 joules. Because that is how much energy was trapped in new caterpillar growth for that day. All right. Hopefully that's clear. Now let's look at trophic efficiency. Trophic efficiency refers to, again, let's go back up here. How much energy goes from one trophic level to the next? And again, usually this is expressed as a percentage. So let's go back down to our little caterpillar example. Now I'm going to add to this story. So even though we know that the caterpillar ate 200 joules worth of energy from the leaf that day, let's say the leaf actually made 300 joules of chemical energy that day. So again, there's a certain amount of plant biomass that existed from the day before and the day before and the day before. But let's say in this one particular day, the plant photosynthesized, and you know, this plant, remember, also does cellular respiration itself. But at the end of the day, there was new plant growth, and in that new plant growth was 300 joules of chemical energy. So that would be the primary production for that day, 300 joules. So I'm going to write that down. So in this one day's time, the tomato plant trapped 300 joules of chemical energy. Now, of that 300 joules of chemical energy, how many, so this is the primary production of the day. Now, again, the secondary production is how many of these joules actually became more caterpillar. And remember, that was 33 joules right here. So in this ecosystem, the plant made, or trapped, you might want to say, 300 joules of energy. And then the caterpillar did its thing, and 33 joules got transferred up to the next level. So 33 joules was the amount of our secondary production. That's how much energy became new caterpillar, and thus became a food source for a robin or something like that. So there were 300 joules of primary productivity. Only 33 joules made it up to the next trophic level. So what's our trophic efficiency? On a test or quiz, I will give you easy math like this. I use so little math in here, I say no calculators, because that's just another level of problems I don't want to deal with. So I think we can divide both the numerator and denominator by 3. So that would give us 11 over 100. And thus we can say the trophic efficiency of this ecosystem would be 11%. And this is pretty typical. The average trophic efficiency in an ecosystem is 10% from level to level, and you'll find a range between 5 and 17%. So there's an example in the book. Make sure you work through it, and you'll definitely see a problem like this on your next quiz. So now in the rest of this module, we are going to look at, now that we hopefully understand ecological pyramids, we will look at some hopefully interesting applications of them and implications. See you there.